Welcome to WatchMinded, the channel where we don't just look at watches, we build them. A few months ago, while scrolling through AliExpress, I stumbled across a movement I hadn't seen before. The Seiko NH39A. Hardly any dials, almost no custom hands, and that instantly made me curious. Was this something new? At first glance, it looks like a skeletonized open-heart engine, the kind of movement that doesn't just keep time, but also catches eyes. And then there's that mysterious extra hour hand. Is this a budget GMT, or just a simple 24-hour indicator locked to the main time? Today, we'll find out. So what exactly is the NH39A? It's part of Seiko Instruments' NH family, built on the same rock-solid platform as the famous NH35 and NH36. That means you get all the essentials: hacking seconds, hand winding, and Seiko's durable magic lever automatic winding system. The specs are classic Seiko reliability: 24 joules, 21,600 vibrations per hour, or 3 Hz, around 41 hours of power reserve, and a compact size at 27.4 millimeters wide and just over 5 millimeters thick. But unlike the NH35, this one has no date complication. Instead, it leaves space for something special: open heart and skeleton dials, often paired with a 24-hour subdial. Now here's the catch: that 24-hour hand isn't an independent GMT hand. It mirrors the main hour hand, making one full rotation per day. More of a day-night indicator than a true second time zone. Still, the combination of skeleton design, open heart view, and that quirky 24-hour subdial makes the NH39A unique in the Seiko catalog. It feels like a hidden gem, a movement that only recently started appearing on AliExpress, and one that still doesn't have much support for dials or hands, which makes building with it even more exciting, because it's new and rare. When I first came across the NH39A movement, I could only find 4 dial options on AliExpress. One was a wavy Omega Seamaster style dial. 2 were Seiko-inspired designs, a cocktail time and a premiere, both even carrying the Seiko logo. And the last was a flat, single-color dial. All of them featured the signature open heart cutout. I decided to go with the flat black version. And honestly, when it finally arrived, it surprised me. On AliExpress, it looked plain, but in person, it's so much better. Here's once again how it looked on the site, and here it is in real life. The difference is striking. The black is deep, and the polished silver rims around the hour markers, around the 24-hour subdial, and even circling the open heart window. They give the whole dial a touch of elegance that catches the light, and definitely catches the eye. It takes the movement's mechanical charm and makes it stand out even more, turning what could have been a simple experiment into a build that feels special. The dial measures 32 millimeters in diameter, which means we need a case that can fit it properly. I had 2 beautiful cases on hand, both of which, according to the AliExpress specs, should work. The first one is a Tissot PRX-style case. You might remember it from my build with the ice blue Rolex Land Dweller style honeycomb dial. If you haven't seen it yet, it's on the channel. The second option is an iconic Royal Oak style case. I've always loved its sharp geometry, those angular brushed surfaces, and of course the octagonal bezel. My plan was to test the dial in both cases and then decide which one looked better. But when I tried the Royal Oak case, I got a surprise. The description on AliExpress claimed it fits dials from 31.7 to 32.5 millimeters. In reality though, the 32 millimeter dial wouldn't go in. It was just a bit larger than the space inside. So, it turned out to be incompatible. To figure out why, I measured both. The dial really is 32 millimeters. The internal size of the case came out to only 31.85, and there's the problem. Fortunately, the PRX-style case worked perfectly, so for this build, that's the one I'll be using. Here's a closer look at the case I'll be using. It's stainless steel with sharp edges and a brushed finish that gives it a sleek, understated look. The integrated design, where the lugs flow into the bracelet, is pure 70s style. The flat polished bezel contrasts nicely with the brushed case, and on the back there's a screw-down exhibition case back to show off the movement. On top, sapphire crystal. The bracelet continues the case lines with flat links, wears comfortably thanks to its taper, and secures with a push-button butterfly clasp. What makes this design special is the balance, retro and modern at once. Slim at 11.4 millimeters, 40 across the case, just a bit over 36 at the bezel, and about 45 lug to lug. A versatile case you can wear with anything. There are a few ready-made NH39 handsets available on AliExpress, and I could have taken the easy route and just picked one of those. But the options are pretty limited, and I had something else in mind. I wanted skeleton hands to really complement the open heart dial. So instead, I decided to go with Omega Seamaster 300 style hands, and I added a separate small hour hand for the 24-hour subdial. The hands have that distinctive cutout design, bold yet lightweight, with lume-filled tips for great legibility. The sharp, angular shape gives them a sporty, modern edge, while the skeletonized centers let more of the dial and open heart movement shine through. I also really like how the circular accents on the hands echo the round hour markers on the dial. It ties the whole design together. A perfect match if you want hands that are both functional and eye-catching. The small hour hand for the 24-hour subdial I had to buy separately, and it's honestly the tiniest hand I've ever seen. You probably barely see it right now. I'm guessing setting it in place will be quite the challenge. Stick around until the end to see how it goes. And after the assembly, we'll test the loom and break down the full budget of this build. By the way, all the links to the parts and tools I used are in the description below. Before we move on to the assembly, let me show you what I'm wearing today. This is my go-to adventure watch, a Tudor Black Bay or Rolex Explorer 2 homage, depending on how you look at it. It was actually a project where I had to swap the hands after assembly. If you're curious about that story, check out the pinned video up here. Now, let's build. This will be a detailed walkthrough of assembling a watch with the NH39A movement. If you're new to DIY watchmaking and want to learn more about the Seiko movement family, how to choose parts on AliExpress, what tools you'll need, and other useful basics, I recommend checking out my step-by-step guide to building your own DIY watch here on the channels. First up, preparing the dial. Every dial has small pegs on the back. They're called dial feet. Movements usually have 2 peg holes, but some dial makers add extra pegs so the same dial can fit multiple movements. In those cases, you need to cut off the extras. Luckily, this dial was made specifically for the NH39, so it only has the 2 pegs we need. I align the feet with the holes, place the dial on the movement, and check that it sits flush. Even the smallest gap can cause problems, like hands catching on the hour markers. Since the NH39 doesn't have a date complication, we don't need to worry about setting it to midnight. We can simply install the hands with the movement set at 12 o'clock. I start with the tiniest one, the small hour hand for the 24-hour subdial. It's the smallest hand I've ever seen, and setting it is by far the trickiest part of this build. At first, I was shocked to see it's actually a little too long for the subdial. It is about 3.5 millimeters, but probably only 2.5 to 3 millimeters would fit. I didn't want to give up, so I carefully bent the hand and tried again. After about 3 attempts, I finally managed to get it seated on the pinion. And honestly, it looks pretty good. Good enough that I won't bother ordering a replacement. I'll check it again under macro once the build is complete. With the hardest part done, the rest is straightforward. Hour hand first, then the minute hand, and finally the seconds. I hold each one with tweezers, then press it down with a plastic hand press tool. This time, everything went smoothly, unlike in my women's watch build, where I broke 2 sets of hands in the process. If you want that story, check out the video building a DIY women's watch on the channel. After the hands are installed, I check that they rotate cleanly and don't touch each other. Next, it's time to case the movement. First, I release the end links of the bracelet so the case is free. This case uses pins instead of screws, so I push them out carefully. Then I unscrew the case back. With the movement upside down in the holder, I have to be extra careful. To remove the crown, I press the release lever while the movement is running, then pull it out. Don't forget, the lever is only visible when the watch is ticking. Now the movement goes into the case. I align it precisely, fix it with the movement holder, and screw the case back down. Since I already had the crown and stem from another build with this case, I just reused that one. If you don't, you'll need to cut the stem to the correct length so it fits your case properly. Then I reattach the bracelet. And here it is, our finished NH39 watch build. I sent a picture of the finished watch to ChatGPT and asked for an opinion, and this is what I get. The deep black dial keeps it sleek, while the open heart cutout and 24-hour subdial give it a technical edge that always catches the eye. With its bold skeleton hands echoing the round indices, the design feels cohesive and intentional. It's versatile enough to wear every day, from casual outfits to smart casual settings, and perfect for someone who wants a stylish contemporary piece that stands out without being too flashy. Time for a lume test. Let's compare the glow of this new build with the lume on my Tudor Black Bay Pro Homage. The lume on the dial is strong and bright blue, while the hands aren't quite as intense, but still visible. And that color difference, blue on the dial and green on the hands, I actually see as a feature. And it looks good.
And now, let's break down the budget of the NH39 Seiko mod. All the links to tools and parts are waiting for you in the description below. Case, $44, and that includes the bracelet. Dial, $12. Hand set, $9. Small hour hand, $3. Movement, Seiko NH35, $57. That brings the total cost to just $125. Thanks for watching Watch-Minded. Hit the like button and subscribe. See you in the next build. Time is what you make it.